Hi, this is Ryan, and today I'm going to be talking about children and civic engagement. I want to start off talking about the two video clips about Tavis Smiley, or his talk show with the youth activists. I thought those were two good videos to relate to this week's topic, because in the other articles we read about civic engagement, like high quality civic education, what is it and who gets it. It talks about how in all the schools today, it's people are worrying that children aren't being educated enough on civics, and how children should, like, where they fall into the government and politics, and how they're a big part of it and they don't even realize. And there used to be parts of the curriculum where they'd actually teach children these things and these skills so that when they grow up they could be an active member in society, as pertains to like their own like community, their local community, the larger communities, and also the government through voting and such. But in recent years they've found that there's a decline in this education. There's not even a separate unit for it anymore, because they believe that they need children need more time to spend on math and reading scores. But some studies show that there hasn't even been an increase in the scores for math and reading. So now children are losing out on this big chunk of their education, how they can be a better member of society, and they're not gaining anything from it, because the time they're giving up on to learn that stuff about society and politics, it's not being used properly if the scores aren't going up in math and reading. But they are still teaching it in schools, but it's throughout other courses like social studies courses. They'll go over the roles of government, but it's more like a third person view, not encouraging children to take part in it because they are part in it. It's more a view where they're telling children, alright, this is the government, this is how it works. So it's more like looking at a machine and how it works, as opposed to being part of a larger group where you can make a difference. And anyway, getting back to the videos, it's that man Tavis Smiley found these kids that are leaders in their communities. I think I watched the segments backwards, but in the first segment they have a girl from ROTC, a boy that helps out at the local pet shelters, and a girl that was the first African American girl to fly across the United States. I think they're all doing great things for their communities, and they're perfect examples of leaders. And even though civic education, they want to talk about politics, I feel about people, by doing their own thing, will eventually come to find the politics in it sooner or later. Even if it's not national politics, at least they'll learn politics in some sort of system. Like, I'm a lifeguard right now, and I really love my job, and I think it's one of my greatest ways that I can help people with my skills and abilities. And actually right now we haven't had a contract in 8 years, and we're fighting to get one. So I've been introduced to this whole new political system, and the fear that we might go on strike. I really hope that doesn't happen. But just the way the politics of it all work, how we have representatives from each beach and each field at the beach. So it's like in our local government and national government, how there's the sects and how it breaks down into smaller and smaller sects as you get more specific. Like my beach has a representative, and then our beach is broken up into fields. We each have representatives, and we're actually talking to state officials who are represent us at a national level to try and help us out so we could get a contract. It would just ensure us that was besides the point. But through these kids' work, they're building a sense of community around them, even if they realize it or not. Like in the article, I believe in community. The girl talks. It's by Miranda Fix, and she talks about how she's visited Africa, in West Africa and Mali, and she realizes that in America we've lost this sense of community and connection to the people around us, and how everything now is based on electronics. And she compares it. In Mali, everybody sits around at night, tells stories, and everyone's so interested to hear what elders have to say, and elders want to hear what younger people have to say. And they just talk to one another, and this way everyone gets to know each other better, and they deepen their relationships. And then it builds like a sense of pride in who they are and how they fit into everybody around them. As opposed to in America, everything's more fixated on the individual now. It's weird. Everything is solicited and marketed as connecting people to others. How you can always be in touch, always connected. But it does the exact opposite. You're never in touch. Like you walk down the street and you see 3 kids walking together, but they're all on their cell phones talking to other people at the same time, so it's actually pulling people apart. And there was a good quote in that article that I really liked about the old folktale on the chopsticks, how one chopstick by itself can be easily snapped, but a whole bundle of chopsticks can't be snapped. And I think that's one of the best ways I've ever seen somebody portray a community. And it made me feel good I liked reading it because I try and do the best I can in my community to help out. Even little things. If it's not a full-fledged program, take pride in what you have around you, and don't take the people for granted. So like if you see garbage somewhere, pick it up, or see somebody that needs help. Like even, it's a cliche, but the old woman crossing the street, help her out. And in the first section of the Development of Morality and Interpersonal Behaviors article, they talk about the studies that were taken by Alice Terry and her work over the years. And she goes back and interviews these kids because she was interested in finding out how community service helped them, because she thought it was a good thing and they were doing it, but then looking back on it, she wanted to find out why exactly or how exactly it was helping these children in their lives. So she interviews them, and basically what it boils down to is they were happy to have done something productive, but they feel like they left their mark, and how they'll always have that in their community and know that they helped do something. So every time they walk past it or somebody sees it, they'll know that, hey, I'm a part of that. And they also talk about how they felt this. They said like they felt they had to, they needed to. And it's nice to know that in your community, when you have other people counting on you, you have this sense where you have the need to want to give back. And if everyone has that same urge, everyone could give back and help each other out to have the best community possible. And I think that's the end of my response, and I think this is it. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their summer. Bye.